cover this, let me cover few simple things like what is database. So I'm going to write the keywords before going to learn anything. Uh, Database. So everyone, can you see what I'm writing? Is the font size okay to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, database, it's a basically collection of data. Okay, so for example, you are maintaining a class copy, right, to keep the records of the lecture of different teachers of different courses. That's also a database for your, it's database related to your course. Okay, so what database actually used to do, it centralize data. So let me learn the keywords to remember the concept. For example, what is marketing? Marketing creates demand, acquire new customer, and retain existing customer. What does finance do? What is finance? Finance deals with the money management, like what would be the sources of fund, how we will allocate the fund. What accounting used to do? Accounting is to keep the record. So see, when we keep when we learn the keywords of particular topic, it will be easier for us to understand. The same thing I am doing. What is database? I'm going to write some keywords so that you can remember these keywords during the exam time very easily. Okay, so what does database used to do? It used to centralize data, then control data. Basically it removes the redundant data. Okay, then it allows users to get access to the data set. So you see, this is the concept of database. Like you see that at IUB there is a IRS software, right? Here is the IRS software. So whenever I submit this, so where this data is stored in the back end of the software, there is a database management system software. Basically, all the records related to the attendance grade are stored to that database management systems. So what it used to do, it centralized the data. IRS, like say vice chancellor of IUB wants to get to know like exactly how many students enrolled to IUB in this particular semester. So vice chancellor office will give phone call to the registrar office, and having gone through the IRS, like registrar office can inform vice chancellor office that presently IUB has say 11,700 students. So see, all the data related to students, teachers, course are centralized in a single software, which is IRS. And in the backend of IRS, there is a software, database management systems. In that database management systems, all these data are centralized. So this is what database used to do. It centralized the data so that anyone can get access to the data from anywhere. Then it controlled data. Control data means like it won't happen at IUB that say one person's name is Monir, Mr. Monir, he is doing measure in BBA, he is doing measure in CSC, he is doing measure in environmental science, social science. No, it won't happen. Only there could be 10 or 20 Monir, but each and every one will get a unique ID number, say student ID, through which one Monir will be different from other Monirs. Okay, so this is how like database ensures redundant data, removal of redundant data. Like it won't happen that student of Munir will be available in all the program BBA, MBA, EMBA. No, one student with a particular ID will be available only in BBA program or in MBA program or in CSC program. No way like one student with the name will be available in every program. No way. There is no way to like get redundancy in the database management systems. Okay, it control data. Like there will be couple of monitors, but all these monitors will be separated from each other, differentiated from each other with their ID. So this is how it control data, and then allows user to get access to the data set. So I always give this example to you that back in 2018 there was a holy artism crisis, like UGC, University Grant Commission asked for student attendance report, teachers attendance report, because they were involved. Some students from some private universities were involved in that holy artism crisis. So that time UGC urged all the private university to submit student attendance report and the teachers attendance report. So what IUB did, IUB just took 5 minutes. IUB register office used the IRS, and through which it retrieved data related to student attendance report and teachers attendance report as well, and then forwarded that data file to the UGC office. So see, the beauty of database management system is that it will allow users to get access to the data set from anywhere in the world if you have the ID and password. So this is what database used to do. Eh? So it centralizes data, it controls data, and it allows user to get access to the data. So understand everyone what is database?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what is database management system? DBMS. Database DBMS in short, we can say. DBMS means it's a DBMS is a software that does the following. Like when DBMS is a software, when they use to centralize data, controls data, allows user to get access to the data electronically. Like using online platform, it will allow you to do that. Now the question is, like, sir, can you please let us know any software name which is being applied by different companies to develop software? So let us learn about these things. Database management software. Uh, for the personal PC, like personal computer, we use the MS Access. This is the software. Huh? That software, database management software. For your personal PC, you can use the MS Access, and through which you can create a small database management system, say a library database management system where you can keep the records of all the books. Okay, through which you can find out like which books available or not. MS Access. It's basically for a small scale database. And for the mainframe computer or systems like IRS, we can use MS SQL server, or we can use Oracle. Okay, so and we can use, for the cloud we can use MS Azure. We can use Oracle as well. We can use MS Azure for the cloud like functions. Say you have a e-commerce business, so you upload your product information in the website. You used to keep the records of your customers on the website. So how we on the online, in fact, how you will manage that data, you need to have Microsoft Azure cloud database management systems. So now you might have questions like, sir, while we'll select any database, what we need to consider. In your class, I gave you two words, right, to guide your life. Like efficiency, I told you that whenever you make any decision, follow these two keywords, right, through which you will try to guide yourself, in fact, efficiency and effectiveness, right? The same way, while you will select any technology or software, okay, or database, whatever it is, whenever it comes to a technological item, follow these two words: functionality and security. Security. So everyone, can you see what I'm writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what does it mean, functionality? You see that earlier we used to use the button phone. Button phone has only limited functionality. Like it allows user to give phone call, to text. That's it. Whereas we like a smartphone a lot. Why? Because using a smartphone, we can send email, we can use graphical work, we can take photos, we can edit photos, then we can keep the records of lecture, right? So we can do so many things using a single handset. So many functionalities are there. That's why we like a smartphone. Security. So in button phone, there wasn't such significant security mechanism, but in a smartphone, we can use the fingertip, fingerprint to secure our cell phone, and then we can use a certain secret code to lock our screen. So this is why we like a smartphone a lot. So same thing is applicable for selecting database, like whether you should go for the SQL Server, Oracle, or MS Azure. It depends on functionality and security. Now let me explain MS SQL Server, Oracle one by one, like why we the advantages and disadvantages. MS SQL Server, MS Access, and MS Azure. These three are the product of Microsoft. So the beauty of Microsoft product is like it becomes very much user friendly. Like yeah, you see MS Word, I'm using MS Word. I can use PowerPoint slide. So Excel, these are very user friendly. But in terms of function, like comparing with Oracle, MS SQL Server has less functionalities comparing with Oracle. Now, you might have a question that's our in our country we see at IUB there is a software at NSU they also use a software Manipuri School Scholastica and different banks they also have their own software. Now you might have question like while they develop their software which database usually they use. In our country perspective mostly we use MS SQL Server. It's very much user friendly. What software developer used to do, they used to write code in a platform, say Python or C sharp or JavaScript, and then what they do like they used to inner join the database management system, especially SQL Server. For example, at IUB, you see the student information. So at IUB, there is a three database in the backend. Three database means like student database say this is how name, student ID, okay, your mailing address, all this information is available here. And there is a course database and there is a teacher's database, like teacher's name, teacher's information are available. Okay, so these three tables are interconnected and all these three tables are inner joined by the irs interface. You see irs through this irs software. So that's why whenever you write your ID, you can get to know about the courses you are attending or you have attended in your profile and your CGPA and the course teachers. Everything is available. Like in a minute, you get the information while you search with your ID in your profile. You can see a report generated right immediately. How it's being generated in the backend, these databases are available: student database, course database, and teachers database. And all these databases are interlinked. Okay, that's why whenever you search with your ID, so what software is to do, it retrieve data from this table and then it shows uh, information in your profile accordingly. Okay, so Microsoft MS SQL Server and Oracle is a very dynamic software. Like developer who has experience with MS SQL Server and Oracle, it is basically for the that cloud database management service. Okay, like if you have a business that runs in the cloud, in that case you can use the MS Azure. So now, in this regard, let me refer you some website that you need to go through. Everyone, Microsoft Learn is a gold mine for the students. Microsoft Learn, and here you write MS SQL server tutorial. You search, you can see tutorial for here. You see the SQL server tutorial available. So I'm going to give the link to you. Uh, and then you can also use uh, MS Azure. MS Azure, Microsoft Learn MS Azure tutorial. So I'm going to share the link with you as well. Everyone, are you there, or am I the only one who is
Sir.
talking?
So, sir, we are
No,
here.
sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
তোমরা আছো তো, নাকি আমি একা একা কথা বলতেছি? একটু বললো কিন্তু।
Asi,
Sir,
sir.
Sir,
Sir,
yes,
Asi,
sir.
sir.
একটা জিনিস হচ্ছে মানে ডাটাবেস ম্যানেজমেন্ট সিস্টেমটা এটা হচ্ছে একটু মানে তোমার টেকনিক্যাল কোর্স, ঠিক আছে, টেকনিক্যাল চ্যাপ্টার ইনফ্যাক্ট। তো মানে আমার সাজেশন হচ্ছে তুমি যদি একটু লেকচারটা শুনে নাও, তাহলে তোমার জন্য পড়তে কষ্ট হবে না, তোমার কাছে ইজি মনে হবে। আর তুমি যদি নিজে ট্রাই করো, একদম ফ্রেশ যদি হও, যে ডাটাবেজের আগে কখনো করো টরো নাই, কিছু জানো না, তোমার জন্য অনেক চ্যালেঞ্জ হবে। তো
জি
এই
স্যার,
জন্য একটু আই এম গোয়িং
আপনি
স্লো।
যখন পড়ান আপনার আমি যখন পড়তে যাই স্যার তখন রিলেট করতে পারি, আপনি স্যার স্যার কি কি বলছিল ওগুলো রিলেট করতে পারি, তখন পড়াটা অনেক ইজি হয় স্যার।
এই জন্য একটু কাইন্ডলি শুনে নিলে ভালো হয়, ঠিক আছে? মানে এটা আমার রিকোয়েস্ট। হ্যাঁ, আর আমরা তো বাসায় আছি, তাই না? আমরা তো এমন না যে তোমার ধরো তোমাদের এখন পরীক্ষা চলতেছে অন্য কোর্সের, আমি ক্লাস নিতেছি, আমাকে রিকোয়েস্ট করলে স্যার এখানে তো পরীক্ষা চলতেছে, আপনার ক্লাস কিভাবে করবো, এরকম তো না। আমাদের উই আর ডান উইথ দ্য এক্সাম, আর এখন আমার ক্লাসের সময় শুধু আমার ক্লাসই চলবে, তোমাদের অন্য কিছু না। ওই জন্য কাইন্ডলি আমার রিকোয়েস্ট যে আমার ছাত্রছাত্রীদের প্রতি একটু কাইন্ডলি শুনে নিলে তোমার জন্য ভালো। আমি চাই তোমরা শিখো, নলেজ গ্যাদার করো, এক্সপার্টিস ডেভেলপ করো, আবার ভালো একটা গ্রেডও নাও, ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, এনিওয়ে, I told you earlier that university education is self-guided, right? So you see, I am now covering the whole chapter. Now it's not possible for me to show you the YouTube tutorials that see this is how SQL work, this is how Azure work. So I gave you the link, what you should do at home in your free time, watch this tutorial. Understand? You are a university student. If you see the tutorial, it will be easier for you to understand how it works. At least 3 or 4 tutorials for the beginner. Okay? See this tutorial, then it would be easier to you to understand the mechanism of database. Tutorial গুলো সবাই kindly দেখে নিবে। Then another thing, Oracle database. You see, Oracle has AI database as well. So you need to not this one. Oracle, we get this. Yes, here is all the product available. Okay, so let me share the link with you. Kindly try to get to know about the Oracle database as well. Okay, so visit this website in your free time. Kindly visit this website, try to explore. I told you at the beginning of the class, like IBM, Oracle, then Microsoft. Okay, these are the big technology player. Okay, So you need to go through their product and services. So and this is how we can understand like how the world is transforming, how the business is transforming. Okay, so if you go through their website, you will get the latest technological knowledge. Understand? So kindly, for the database you need to go through learn Microsoft for the SQL Server, and learn Microsoft for the Microsoft Azure. And for the Oracle you need to go through this website. Okay, and other than that, what you can do, you can see some uh, tutorial, MS Access tutorial, MS Access tutorial through YouTube, just to create a small database like library database, product database, inventory database, something like that. Tutorial or employee database in a small scale. Say there are 50 employees. Okay, so like you can create their profile, you can upload their photos. So the way you can see at IUB IRS, you can see there is a profile, right? When you log into IRS, you can see your profile, you can see your photo, you can see your courses you have already attended, and the courses you are right now attending, and the total grade. Right, this kind of things you can create using MS Access database in a small scale for 20 or 30 employees. Okay, how to create their profile, how to create their tables. Okay, these are the things you can do in MS Access tutorial. So in your free time, kindly watch this tutorial. Okay, okay, let's go back to our lesson. So hopefully we get like a primary understanding about database management systems, right? Now we will try to understand data hierarchy. It is also a fundamental topic, but we have to understand data hierarchy. Figure 6.1. How basically we create database. So let me use this file. Okay, boys and girls, what computer can understand? Zero or one?
Computer can understand digital data, binary data, sir.
Exactly, zero or one, right?
Yes, sir.
So see, 8 bits consist of a byte. Say A or B. So whenever I am writing A from the keyword, computer basically understands 001111. So computer can understand this 8-bit code when we press A, or when we press B, computer can understand 8-bit code. Okay, so bit. So like is the very fundamental thing of a database, bit 0 and 1. 8-bit consists of a byte, and the combination of byte consists of a field, FIELD. In general, we call it column, right? This is column and this is row. But in case of database, we have to use the language of database. So this is known as field, this is known as record. So field, say name, student name, say Monir. This is known as field. And record, what does it mean? Records consist of couple of fields. Okay, for example, let me, so I'm going to record means like student name, student ID, quiz, meet. Sorry. So I'm going to write Monir, ID is 234. Quiz it. That guy got only 13 out of 15 and got 22 out of 25. So here you see field and record. What's the difference? Like field means particular column. Particular column, say student name, student ID, quiz. Okay. And record means like particular a student information. Monir, what his ID, what his quiz marks, how much he got in quiz, how much he got in meet, what's his email account, contact number. Okay, this is known as record. Now, when we will get multiple student record, say Monir, say Sifta, say Sakib. So this is known as student file. When we'll have couple of records, this is known as student file. Only student information is available. Now, couple of files, student files, teacher files, course files, known as database. So here is the sequence. So we can see beat, then we can see couple of beat consists of byte, a letter. Okay, it could be A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3. Okay, so these are known as byte. And couple of byte consists of a field, say course ID or student name. So couple of fields consist of a student record, student ID, course, date of joining, and then grade. And couple of records consist of files, like so many student information are available. Now, a couple of files consist of database. So if you get 2 or 3 marks question, like explain data hierarchy, only 3 marks I might allocate. In that case, quickly you need to draw this diagram and you need to explain quickly, like briefly from this part, like what is byte, what is beat, what is byte, what is field, what is record, and then what is file and what is database. So briefly you need to explain. If you get a question like explain the data hierarchy, you need to give this diagram and then you need to explain briefly for 3 marks or 4 marks, something like that. So do you have any question? The topic I covered, anyone?
Sir,
Yes, yes.
স্যার আপনি কি স্যার এই চ্যাপ্টারের উপর কি বাইনারির উপর কোনো স্যার কোয়েশ্চেন বানাবেন স্যার? কারণ স্যার বাইনারি কনসেপ্টটা খুবই উইক আমি স্যার।
না 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 না, আমি বাইনারি কিছু মানে বলবো না যে বাইনারি থেকে হেক্সা কিভাবে হয়, হেক্সা থেকে বাইনারি কিভাবে হয়, এগুলা কিছুই করাবো না। এটা জাস্ট বোঝানোর জন্য। ডেটাবেসটা তোমরা যে ডেটাবেস দেখো, মানে জিনিসটা এরকমের যে আমরা একটা বিল্ডিং তৈরি করতে গেলে ফাউন্ডেশনে কাজ করতে হয় না, মাটির নিচেও তো কাজ করতে হয়। ওখানে পাইলিং কিভাবে করব আমরা, তারপর হচ্ছে তোমার আমরা পানির ট্যাঙ্কটা মাটির নিচে একটা রাখি, হাউস বলি আমরা, রাইট? ওইটা কিভাবে বানাতে হয়, পিলার গুলো কিভাবে বানাতে হয়, এটাও জানা দরকার আছে। আমরা তো শুধু উপরের বিল্ডিংটা দেখলেই তো আর হবে না, তাই না? ফাউন্ডেশনের কি কাজ এটাও জানা দরকার, একটা বিল্ডিং যখন যে বানায় শিখে। তো ওরকমের তুমি যে ডাটাবেস ম্যানেজমেন্ট আমরা শিখবো, আমি কিছু টেকনিক্যাল কাজও করা দেখাবো। তো আমরা এই ফাউন্ডেশনটা একটু দেখে নিচ্ছি। আর এই ফাউন্ডেশনের মধ্যে আমি জাস্ট বলে দিতেছি যে এটা কিভাবে ওয়ার্ক করে, যে বিট, বাইট, ফিল্ড, রেকর্ড, ফাইল, এগুলোকে এগুলোর সাথে তোমাদের পরিচয় করায় দিচ্ছি। দ্যাটস ইট, এটার বাইরে কিছু আসবে না। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, ওকে। আমি তাহলে তাহলে আর কারো কোনো প্রবলেম আছে ফ্রম দিস টপিক?
No, sir.
ঠিক আছে, আমি তাহলে পরের টপিকটা কভার করি। লেট মি, আমি এই টপিকটা কভার করতে যে আমাদের দুইটা টপিক কভার হয়ে যাবে ইনফ্যাক্ট, ঠিক আছে? এই টপিকটা কভার হয়ে গেলে আমাদের দুইটা টপিক কভার হয়ে যাবে। আমাদের যেহেতু হাতে অনেক ক্লাস আছে, আর আমি ডেটাবেজেরটা আমি একটু স্লো যাব, কারণ এটা একটু কমপ্লেক্স, তো আমি বেশি পড়ালে ইউল বি আছে না যে রানিং আউট অফ মাইন্ড, ভুলে যাবে। তো এই জন্য আমি এটা একটু স্লো যাব। পরের যে দুটা চ্যাপ্টার আছে, সিকিউরিটি আর হচ্ছে তোমার সিস্টেম অ্যানালাইসিস এন্ড ডিজাইন, ওই দুটা সহজ, ওইটাতে আবার তাড়াতাড়ি গেলে হবে। আর আমাদের হাতে অনেক ক্লাস আছে, ঠিক আছে? আমি এগুলো একটু স্লো যাব। আচ্ছা দেখো, আমরা এখন we will cover only one topic and try to get answer of two topics. Okay, like covering one topic we will get understanding of two topics. So problems with traditional file environment. What does it mean, problems with traditional file environment? So let me show you a diagram. Here you see the inconsistency. Can you see everyone? Manufacturing, sales and marketing, human resource, accounting and finance, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So here you see that most of the companies all over the world, They basically run their operation based on these four departments. Okay, manufacturing or service, sales and marketing, human resource, accounting and finance. Let's say Facebook, Google, Microsoft, all over the world, all the companies, they used to follow these four pillars. Now see, like earlier back in 90s, when there wasn't any such structured database management systems or software, okay, dedicated software like IRS or bank management system, that time Microsoft came up with their product back in 80s, okay, and then people used to suffer a lot because of the inconsistency, redundancy. So how it happens, let me explain it through this diagram. See, the manufacturing department, they used to manage a file and see that they give the name of this file AEFG, whereas the same files renamed by the sales and marketing with ABEG. So see, this is different from this. And then human resource department, they also do the same thing, like they rename the file differently, ABDE. And then accounting and finance, they rename the file with ABCD. So see, the same file, but different departments gave different names, which creates confusion, which creates inconsistency. So earlier, uh, when people used to, in a traditional environment, people used to manage data in Excel or Word in separate file. They used to face this problem. Like different department used to keep the records differently. Okay. So here is the example. Some department use ID, some department use student ID. So which creates confusion. Program data dependency. So let me give you an example from here, then you can understand. One program might be modified from 5-digit to 9-digit zip code. If the original data file were changed from 5-digit to 9-digit code, then other program that required the 5-digit code would no longer work properly. So normally what happens in database, we used to declare the nature of the field. For example, if we want to input a numeric figure, we have to declare it earlier. And then if we want to include text, in that case we have to declare character. Okay, this is how we have to declare it first. Okay, nowadays the beauty of database is like in database we can input any kind of figure, 10 figure, 15 figure, numeric figure, it doesn't matter. And we can include any kind of language as well, English, Bengali, Chinese, not Chinese, Mandarin. Okay, but earlier there was a problem. Like if you declare it with 5-digit code, you have to be stuck with that only. You cannot input 10-digit figure, 10-digit. You cannot input any 10-digit or 15-digit figure because at the beginning you have declared it. You have like confined it to 5-digit. Okay, so this is known as program data dependency. It refers to the coupling of data stored in file and the specific program required to update and maintain those files, such that changes in program require changes to the data. The way you will do programming at the beginning, you have to input accordingly. If you want to come up with different input, in that case, you have to change the program as well, which is very complex task. But nowadays, this is very easier. We can input easily. Nowadays, not only we can input structured data, we can input unstructured data as well. We have available unstructured database management systems like Oracle, Simple, Amazon, SimpleDB, MongoDB. Okay, we have Hadoop available. So nowadays, we don't have any such limitation. Okay, now lack of flexibility. What does it mean? Lack of flexibility. Flexibility means like you have to have the capacity to generate report accordingly. Whenever there is a need, you have the capacity to generate report. So earlier, when there is a traditional file environment, different department used to manage different files. So it was tough to generate report immediately for the top level executive. But nowadays, we used to centralize data, right? IRS, not IRS, IRS is software. Like database management systems allow us to centralize data, to control data, and allow user to get access to the data. That's why it's now easier to get access to the data anytime from anywhere in the world and generate report. The same example I'm giving, polyardism crisis. Like within 5 minutes, IUB register office generated student attendance report file, teachers attendance report file, and provided that file to the EGC just in 5 minutes. So, yeah, in traditional file environment, there is a lack of flexibility, but in modern database management systems, it's now very much flexible. Irrespective of time, geography, we can generate report if you have ID and password. That way, you can do registration through IRS. Like if you are abroad during registration time, it doesn't matter. You can, if you have the ID and password from abroad, you can also register yourself. For security, you see that in a company there are securities in multiple layers, like there is a firewall, and there is a firewall while we get the internet connection in a router. There's a firewall. There is a firewall uh, in the soft system that we use, for example IRS, and there is a security plugin in the website. So there are security in multiple layers. So that's why it's not easy to get access to IRS database. Like say your CGPA is 2.9. So with the support of hacker, you get access to your information, and then you change your CGPA from 2.9 to 3.9. No, there is no way, because IUB there is a security in multiple layers. It will be very much difficult for a hacker to get access to IRS database management systems, to IRS software, and in the back end there is a database management system. So, uh, like in traditional database, there is a poor security, because you know that MS Word file, Excel file, anyone can get access. Whereas none of us has access to IRS. None of us has access to IRS to change our grade. No way. Lack of data sharing and availability. So see, since in modern database we used to centralize our data, like we keep the records of data and other things in a central way. That's why centralized way. That's why anyone database administrator can get access to that data from anywhere in the world, can share particular files, say student files, teachers files. He or she can do it very easily with the ID and password, getting access to the database management systems. But in traditional file management system, it's tough. Like for example, let me give you example for your clarification. Say you are maintaining a university copy, right? A class copy through which you used to keep the records of your teachers lectures. Now by any chance you like kept kept your copy at your home. Now you are inside the university, mistakenly you didn't bring your class copy. Can you like get access to your class copy which is available at home? No, because it's a physical copy which is available home, at your home. It's not possible for you to get access to that class copy from IUB which is available at your home. But IRS, you if you have your ID and password, you can get access to IRS from anywhere in the world. Okay. So from this topic, you might have a question like explain the problems with traditional file environment. In that case, you have to highlight this topic: data redundancy, inconsistency, give concept and example, and then program data dependency, lack of flexibility, poor security. You need to highlight about their problem and example. And you can also get this kind of questions like how DBMS, how a DBMS database management system solve the problem of traditional file environment. To answer this question, you also need to follow this point: data in redundancy inconsistency. In that case, you have to highlight how database management system solve this problem. Understand everyone? Like you have to cover this topic for two questions. One answer, two questions. One, problems with traditional file environment. In that case, you have to highlight the problem and then you have to include this top point. But approach would be like problem-centric approach. Like what kind of problem earlier people used to face. Again, I might give a question like how a DBMS solve the problem. In that case, you have to have a solution approach. Like you will highlight this point, but you will write the way database used to solve this problem. Okay, so boys and girls, did you get the clarification? The way you will get question from this topic?
Yes, sir.
তোমরা কি আছো নাকি নাই ক্লাসে?
স্যার
Yeah.
জি
আছে।
স্যার।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে ওকে থাকলে ভালো কারণ হচ্ছে তোমার at the end of the day you have to give your exam right so একটু থেকে নিলে তাহলে তোমার জন্য ভালো ঠিক আছে আচ্ছা আমি কি আজকে আরো টপিক পড়াবো নাকি পড়াবো না তোমাদের বোরিং ফিল করছো না তো আমাকে একটু বলো ফ্র্যাঙ্কলি বলো
স্যার এখন যদি বলি স্যার পড়বো না তখন বলবেন যে এই তো শুরু হয়ে গেল।
স্যার একটু
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
কমপ্লেক্স লাগছে টপিকটা।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে আমি একটা কাজ করি আমি তাহলে যে পরের যে ইগুলো আছে আমি এগুলো তাহলে নেক্সট ক্লাসে কভার করব আমাদের হাতে মানে মিডটার্মের আগে যেমন আমরা রাশের মধ্যে ছিলাম কিভাবে সিলেবাস কভার করব বাট বা ফাইনালের আগে আমাদের অনেকগুলো ক্লাস বাকি আছে ইনফ্যাক্ট হ্যাঁ আমাদের বুধবার ক্লাস আছে আবার নেক্সট উইকে ক্লাস আছে আবার 24 তারিখেই তো ইউনিভার্সিটি খুলে দিবে তো আমাদের ফাইনাল হবে সেই এপ্রিলের 16 তারিখ থেকে তো আমাদের অনেক রুম আছে হ্যাঁ মানে ক্লাস নেওয়ার ঠিক আছে আমি তাহলে আজকে এই পর্যন্ত রাখি তোমরা যেটা করো আজকে যে টিউটোরিয়ালগুলো আমি দিয়ে দিলাম তোমাদের চ্যাট বক্সে যে তোমার মাইক্রোসফট লার্ন তোমরা একটু এসকিউএল সার্ভারের টিউটোরিয়াল দেখো ইউটিউবে ইনফ্যাক্ট দেখতে পারো তারপর হচ্ছে অ্যাজিওর মাইক্রোসফট অ্যাজিওর ফর দ্য বিগিনার এটা কিভাবে ফাংশন করে এটার একটু টিউটোরিয়াল দেখো তারপর এমএস এক্সেস এর টিউটোরিয়াল দেখো এটা একটু তোমরা দেখতে থাকো তোমাদের ফ্রি টাইম ঠিক আছে তাহলে আমি যখন টপিকগুলো কভার করব তোমাদের জন্য ইজি হবে বুঝতে ঠিক আছে তো এনিওয়ে কারো কোনো কনফিউশন আছে ফ্রম দা টুডেস টপিক
না
নো
স্যার
স্যার।
আচ্ছা কারো কোনো লেট অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স দরকার আছে আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে ওকে 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 থ্যাংক ইউ এভরিওয়ান আমরা তাহলে ইনশাআল্লাহ নেক্সট ক্লাসে আমরা পরের এইগুলো কভার করব আমরা এই চ্যাপ্টারটা একটু কমপ্লেক্স টেকনিক্যাল তো আমি মানে এই চ্যাপ্টারটা একটু স্লো যাব ঠিক আছে পরের দুটো চ্যাপ্টার কভার করতে আমার টাইম লাগবে না ইনশাআল্লাহ ঠিক আছে ওকে তাহলে এভরিওয়ান যদি তোমাদের
ওকে
কোনো
স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
তাহলে আমি লিভ করছি ওকে টেক কেয়ার
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার
হ্যাঁ
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
হ্যাঁ
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার
হ্যাঁ ওয়েলকাম টেক কেয়ার